Key, I've got a plan. Can I borrow can I borrow some of your fluff? Your fluff. Can I borrow some? Key. Yeah, it doesn't have to be from your butt. No, it's just any fluff. From your neck, maybe? I think that's where most of it's coming up at the moment. So is it okay if I borrow some of your fluff? You'll get it back. Yeah, you will. You'll get it back. Oh, jeez. That's my face, Key. When do you put? Can you do it more gently, please? So, plan today is I'm going to make you a toy. I have a squeak. I'm not going to squeak it, otherwise he'll try and take it. This is a really, it's a very high-pitched squeak, which he loves. And I've got some fur. It's quite a long pile of fur, and it's fake fur, so it's synthetic. So I'm just going to make a rectangle of the fake fur, put the squeaker inside, and then stuff it with his fluff. See what he thinks. It's probably not going to last very long because he's strong, and I don't have an industrial sewing machine or thread, which is needed to make a really strong toy. I'm going to do double rows of stitching, so I'll have a reinforced outer stitching, so I'll do that twice, and then I'll do an inner line of stitching just so that if he breaks through the first line there'll be a second line of stitching. Do you want a toy made with your fluff? Yeah. Oh, my clay is dribbled on. Okay, let's carry on. Ew. A tip for cutting fabric: you don't want to cut straight through because you'll cut off all of your fur and you'll end up with a blunt edge. So just using the very tip of the blades, I'm cutting through the weave on the back. And you can also follow the line in the weave to make sure you have a straight line, because I haven't marked anything out. So now I've got a nice rectangular piece of fabric which will fit my squeaker in. You don't want to trap the fur in the stitch, so pushing all the fibres inside. I've never worked with fur fabric before. It's a bit fiddly. And I'm going to start in the corner and stitch up towards the fold, just because then if it moves slightly you won't end up with it bunched up slightly. If I started at this end you could very easily end up with it being too long on one side. I'm going to start a little bit up because otherwise I'll have a job pulling the fabric under the foot. I don't know when my camera stopped recording, but for some reason it did. So I've started doing my first row of stitching. So I started at the open end. I'm going down to the fold at one end. I'm going to get all the way down and then I'm going to follow the line of stitching back up again so that I can reinforce it. And then I'm going to do a second row of stitching slightly further in. As I go along I'm pushing the pile of fabric inside so that I don't catch it in my stitches. As I'm down this end, I'm going to stitch 1 inch in. I can't go much further than that because I need enough room when I flip it inside out to squeeze the squeaker inside. One side done. I'm going to work down the other side. Okay, it's all stitched up. I've got a pouch so I can flip it out. It's the weirdest. It's like a hot water bottle cover. It's the weirdest toy. And then I will need to harvest some of Key's fluff. Just give him a good brushing. I could put a little face on it, but he'd pull it off. Looks like it's got ears. Maybe the fan wasn't a good idea. Don't toot, Key. I don't know what to call this. What would you call this? I've got my rectangle of fur, and I've got Key's fur, my stuffing. The ball is in there. It's just gonna sort of free roam because there's nothing to hold it in place. And stuff this up. I've got all the fluff in. So now I just need to stitch this up by hand. This is like I'm repairing a toy, but I'm actually making it from scratch. I've repaired many toys. I've made you something with your fluff. Key. Oh. I didn't take that much. Key, I've made you something with your fluff. Do you want to see what it is? Are you ready to see what I made with your fluff? You are. Yeah, I made something. You want to see? What do you see? Super fluffy. Don't mess up the sofa. That was my mistake. What do you think, Key? No, don't defluff it already, Key. Oh. Is that good? What's that noise? Going to the sofa again. It's full of your fluff, Key. No, don't defluff it yourself. Okay, no defluffing. I just made that. On a scale of boop being good or snot being bad, is it a boop or a snot? What? Is it a boop or a snot? Okay. Okay, can I have a boop? Good boy, ready, go. I think you liked it.